All right, back on Thompson to Clark, live streaming on the BSPN YouTube channel. Last week, we were not live on the BSPN YouTube channel. Brad was on vacation, but we snuck in a show on the Bleacher Report app. So that was uploaded onto YouTube, and we also put that in the download for the podcast, the audio network. So we didn't leave you. It was just a little bit of a different show. We talked overreactions, and we're probably going to do some more overreacting today, though. The Giants are now 4-6, which is much better than what were they after LA 2-5, getting out of LA there.
Yeah, 2-5, and feeling down in the doldrums. I like to use the word doldrums whenever I can, but that's
why do the games against the Dodgers
they count as two, right?
2 games.
Yeah, that's especially when you lose, it counts as like 3 games or 4 games. You're like, why? Even if you win the first 2 games of the series against the Dodgers and then lose the 3rd game, you go out of there going, man, those friggin' Dodgers, even though you won the series. So
yeah,
I don't know.
But thankfully, Giants snuck one out on Sunday in the late innings. Earlier Sunday, I texted you and I said, Logan Webb is going to be the ace that we need him to be. And then you had said, yeah, but they may not score any runs, which they didn't on Saturday night. They got shut out. And you know what's funny about Saturday night's game is you take away the first inning and it's no runs. Like San Diego scored all their runs in the first inning. So the Giants hitting has not been great. The offense has been lacking. Certain guys are hitting the ball on the nose, like Conforto, and at least in these last couple games, Soler. Other guys, not as much. And I'm just kind of wondering now, a lot of the baseball analytics websites, they look at, I mean, this is not anything new to anybody, but you're looking at exit velocity and how hard you're actually hitting the balls. And there's these percentages of like, oh yeah, in most situations that's a hit, but this thing happened and it was taken away. And so, there's somewhere, Matt Chapman will hit a ball hard, but he just hits it right on the ground. And there's other situations like, Lamont Wade, just the at-bats are not there for certain guys yet. So to be 4-6 the way that they are, having almost no offense is I guess it's okay. But I did look at the schedule. The schedule bodes well for April. The Giants are like 13 out of the 19 games at home for the rest of this month. So that should be good for them to, whatever it is about being at home and sleeping in your bed and finding your footing and just being more comfortable. They always start the season on the road for whatever reason. But now they are home.
Apparently it makes the Padres jumpy to be in San Francisco too, throwing games away for us. Which is
I'm very happy that Kim is their shortstop, because if it was Nick Ahmed on the other side, I don't know if the Giants get that second or that last game yesterday.
Yeah, probably not. He's been playing fantastic, Nick Ahmed. I mean, he's been doing the fielding metrics and the run saving metrics are like out of sight for him right now. The problem though is we haven't hit a home run at home. So I know all these games are coming up at home. We haven't hit a home run yet at home. So we need that tonight. We need that for Snellzilla night, right?
Tonight is Snellzilla.
Like Snellzilla day or Snellzilla night, or that's a mouthful.
Yeah. Where does Snellzilla come from?
He stole it from his brother's gamer tag.
Oh wow!
Apparently, so I think that was his brother's gamer tag. And then when he hit the majors and stuff, and got on social media, he just straight up ganked it.
Wow. That's funny. So 10 games in, only 152 left to go. The part about this team that we mentioned in the overreactions podcast is that a lot of the big additions came late. So they didn't have a lot of spring together where the full team, and with Snell, this is his first start, so you didn't have him at all. And so it may be a little while until they gel, until they sort of figure things out, which is why I think that this homestand, not necessarily this one, but they play Washington, and then they go to Tampa, and then I think it's is it the Diamondbacks? No, they go to the Florida, and then they come back and it's D-backs, Mets, and Pirates. So that D-backs are going to be a good baseball team this year, but
Yep.
the mere fact that the home schedule is good for April, I think that's going to help them with this, the chemistry and everything that they need because of the weird timing of a lot of their signings. But you go back to the home run thing, and you made the overreaction prediction that Conforto and Soler combined would hit 75 home runs, and somehow that
Yeah.
turned into, these guys are better than Barry Bonds, I think,
Yeah.
on the website. But hey, man, it's called overreactions. It's not called underreactions.
I don't think the people in the comment section got that. I don't think they understood the word overreaction because they thought I was smoking that good stuff, man, that Cheech and Chong stuff. But no, I mean, it's a total overreaction because you're looking at Soler hitting 450-foot bombs. He could hit 35 home runs this year, and that kind of, or 40 home runs, and then that leaves Conforto with 35. Conforto's got a rest night tonight. He's taking, and everybody's freaking out. It's 10 games in the season. He's resting. He's an old guy, man. He's coming off surgery.
Yeah, you got to be not careful, but you got to be smart with him.
Yeah.
So I was thinking back to your overreaction. There was an at-bat yesterday. Soler took a ball. I think it was 98. It was right on the inside corner. He hit this thing so foul. Like, he was so in front of this thing. It went into the third deck, but not anywhere near where the foul pole is, because he got ahead of it so quickly. Like, if he waits a split second, that thing might hit the glove, like out in left field. Like, this guy, the bat speed is so tremendous with him, so strong and so buff too, because all he did was run into Kim's tag, and I think the muscles exploded the ball out of Kim's glove, and the Giants were able to score a run.
Muscles in his head.
I like the look of the offense. I think Melvin is trying a lot of things with the lineup, though. He's not dead set on really anything except for that Lee is going to hit leadoff. Everything else is kind of bounced around. Probably Ahmed hitting ninth. I don't see that changing. This guy, he chases, man. He swings like he's a home run hitter, and I'm just like, brother, like, just dial it back just a little bit. But they're trying stuff. I think Soler hit second on opening day, and we've seen him move down a little bit. Chapman as a number 4 hitter, I don't know if that puts pressure on him or not. I think realistically, he's more like a 6, where he's still going to hit with runners on, but you don't need him to be your best hitter, and that may take some pressure off of him. Bailey showed a little bit of pop. I don't know if that means that he moves above where, that 7 range or whatever, but they're going to have to, they're going to have to feel it out. It would be nice if Wade kind of puts together some really good ABs, because I think if he does, because of his ability to get on base, he's a really nice number 2 hitter. But if he's striking out a lot and missing his bats, missing the baseball, then maybe not so much. But the lineup situation, I'm not quite worried, but I did say in our overreaction podcast that I think they need one more bat, because the Yastrzemski Slater combo, the combo meal is okay for now, I think, but by the time we really get into the season, I think they're going to need another bat, and that's probably where it comes from. I don't actually know who that is. We can dream of Mike Trout, but I think they're going to have to pick up something there, because that is a circled weak spot if I'm the opponent. Oh, Yastrzemski, Slater, that's not really anything we're afraid of. So I'm hopeful in that way.
Well, Matos, we could look at a couple of outfielders in AAA. We can look at Luis Matos. I know everybody's clamoring for him. He did have 2 home runs in his debut in Sacramento, with Sacramento in Reno, 4,500 feet altitude, 2 home runs, and he hasn't really done anything since. He's hitting 208 with 2 home runs. Elio Ramos hitting 278 with 3 home runs. But he does have 11 strikeouts and 36 at bat. So it's every third at bat in AAA he's striking out. So yeah, I mean, it could come from the trade market. Guys like Yaz and Slater aren't necessarily, the trade bait that you're going to use to get that guy. It's going to have to be like a Matos or a Ramos and, other guys kind of piled in to get somebody like Mike Trout. Which would be awesome. I mean, we would absolutely love that. You'd have to give up the farm. Is it Juan Soto next year? That's the thing. You got to wait a year for that. So yeah, I mean, you're talking about, here's the thing. Like you said at the beginning, though, a lot of guys are hitting the ball hard. Things just aren't falling in. So if guys are, and you've got the defense in Yaz, you've got the defense in Ahmed. So if guys around him those balls start falling in, then it's not as glaring. But when the offense as a whole isn't hitting, you're going to look at the weakest link and you're going to say, well, it's this guy. Great. You could swap him out for somebody else who doesn't hit, and then everybody else starts hitting, and then the problem solved. And that wasn't the problem solver. Just out of curiosity, do you know, I love looking at StatCast, but we're talking about hard hit balls and waiting for stuff to fall in. Do you know who leads the Giants in hit balls of 95 miles an hour or more on the team?
I think it is our leadoff hitter.
It is Jung-Hoo Lee. He's actually 4th in the majors with 20 95 mile an hour plus balls off of the bat. Chapman is 7th, and then you got to go all the way down to find 47th Jorge Soler. But then another fun one too is exit velocity, average exit velocity. Do you know who leads the team in that?
Mm-mm.
Patrick Bailey.
Wow.
Believe it or not. Yeah, 96.4 miles per hour off the bat. Second is Chapman. But in front of Bailey, it's William Contreras, Bobby Witt Jr., and the great and powerful Miguel Sano. Those are always fun. I always like looking at StatCast just for fun.
I mean, I like those numbers because it shows you that even if the at-bats are outs, they're still doing what they want to do, which is hit the baseball hard.
Yeah.
It would be more concerning if because when we signed Jung-Hoo, the worry was that he just doesn't hit the ball hard enough, and so there's going to be no power and this and look and yeah, he's got the 1 home run. I think he's going to be the king of the warning track fly balls when he does hit it up in the air this year. But he's hitting the baseball hard, and a lot of those balls are going to find holes. That I wonder. I wish I could go back because I keep comparing him to Ichiro. Did the defense shift a lot? Because the defense didn't really shift with Tony Gwynn, because Tony Gwynn would kind of hit it where your weak spots were in the defense. But I don't remember if defenses shaded Ichiro all that much. You had to play him a little in because he was so fast to first base.
Yeah.
But I wonder how they're going to start playing Lee when when he's got 100 at bats or 200 at bats underneath him.
I don't think many teams shifted against Ichiro, and I think that's because it was mostly like kind of came along in this era with Barry Bonds, and I think I think a lot of people were afraid because, like you said, the speed. I
Yeah.
mean, he could go the opposite field if he wanted to. That's the whole thing with Ichiro. His swing, if he wanted to take a ball on the outside part of the plate, he would fire it into left field. And if you left one fielder on the left side, he could spray hit all day long, and his batting average would have been like 450, 500. I mean, he could have done whatever he wanted to. And the other thing too is he had a lot of power. So, you could shift him, but he's going to hit a home run. You could shift him. He's going to pull the ball down the line. He's going to hit it in the gap. And with his speed, if he hits it anywhere on the infield and you're shifted weird, he's going to get a base hit out of it too. So yeah, I looked it up and I don't see any shifts put on him. So yeah, I think it says there's an article by Jason Stark where he talks about him being shift proof. So,
all right, so they win 2 out of 3 against San Diego, and we got to see a little dance from Camilo Doval there at the end. What did you think about that?
I don't know. Who gave him a cup of coffee? That's what I thought.
You know what I loved about the outing is his first outing was really rough.
Yeah,
not good at all. Gave up some runs and pitch clock violations, and in this outing, he was just on it. It was strike zone, attacking. Oh, you're looking slider where, well, here comes 98. I thought he was really, really good, and it was good to see him bounce back from that previous outing because he's got so much talent and he's still so young. And so, you know, the way that Melvin put it about the pitch clock violations, about something like, you know, I forgot how he said it, but it was almost like a dad being like, that's not going to happen in this house. And then he came
the thermostat.
He came back with the fantastic outing. So that was great to see. Are you worried about Webb yet? I know,
no
overreactions, but
no, because the first start of the season, he was so good against the Padres. I think, you know, he's one of those guys who, and, you know, of course, all the talk right now is about arm injuries and guys throwing 98, 99, this and that, and, you know, throwing as hard as they can and sliders.
You saw Framber today, right?
Yeah, Framber Valdez is going down too. He's going to have his elbow looked at. But I think, you know, I'm not too worried about Webb. He's a 92, 93, 94 thrower with the sinker. So, you know, it's one of those things you kind of have to get dialed in. And once he gets the grip of it and the feel of it, he can be really nasty. He had some stinker outings last year and the year before. He just does. And I think it's because he doesn't throw so hard. And he keeps his pitch count down, so he puts the ball in play. And I think once he gets a little more confidence in the fielders around him, especially, I think he's going to realize, like, man, I don't have to strike anybody out. I just have to make contact, or pitch to contact. But the thing is, like I said yesterday, things were just finding holes, which was frustrating because then on our side, when we're up at the plate, things are not finding holes, and that's just, you know, that's the game of baseball. So no, I'm not really worried about him,
except for the hole in Kim's glove. There, that's the only hole that we found.
The Olay.
I think the Dodgers psyched him out because the story after that game was he throws almost, you know, 50% or 40% changeups normally. And he stopped throwing the changeup in the game against the Dodgers. And that was a rough outing for him. And it was, I forgot what they said about why. He just wasn't feeling it. He just decided, you know, it wasn't going to be his pitch. But yeah, I think that lineup may have psyched him out a little bit. And it's something that he had to sort of figure out after, like, oh, I can't second guess myself that much in, you know, and I think the Dodgers are going to be that team. They're going to be the team that you stand them up and you're like, oh my goodness, like, what are we going to do here? And how, you know, the managers too. Oh man, you know, the series before, we got to make sure that we have a bullpen that is rested because we're going to need it. Like, that's just the effect of when you play good teams like that. So hopefully they just roll it out there and attack them because, you know, the Cubs played the Dodgers very well this weekend.
Yeah, I think more than anything, honestly, when you play the Dodgers, probably puts more pressure on your offense because I mean they're going to score runs, right? Dodgers are going to score runs.
Yeah.
Your pitching staff, you give up 3 or 4 runs to them in a game, especially 3 runs. Hey, you think hey, accomplishment? That's great. Now, if our offense can score 4 or 5 runs, because again, they don't have the lights out pitching. I mean, Glasnow is fantastic. He's not always fantastic. Again, he's like Webb. You can get him on an off day. Um, Yamamoto, we don't know yet. I was really hoping we got to see him in that series because I wanted to see what the Giants were able to do against him. And other than that, it's kind of Bobby Miller, and then you've got Walker Buehler is coming back. So yeah, it's going to be interesting going forward what the Dodgers can do. Because again, they're going to score runs offensively. So yeah, I think especially the Giants when they face the Dodgers. I fear for our offense more than anything else because I feel like the pressure there is pretty intense.
Blake Snell, he throws tonight, so we have not seen that game yet. This podcast will be out there by the time he pitches, but most people, I'm assuming, will listen after the game is over. So we don't know how he threw. It sounds like he's going to be on a really short leash, maybe 70 pitches. I think Melvin said sounds like a good number for him. I don't imagine he gets stretched out, until a couple of starts under his belt, and then still he's he's a 5 or 6 inning guy when he's going well. So,
well, that being said, do we see Dalton Jeffries tonight? That's a possibility, which I wouldn't mind seeing because I want to see a redemption. That was a rough outing against San Diego, the 4th game of the season. So if he does come in and mop up like 3 or 4 innings and try to get, bridge to the deep part of the bullpen, that'd be great. But, I'd like to see him pitch better than he did in game 4.
Yes, he's going to need he's going to need another opportunity for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Alex Cobb looks like he's going to be out for another month or so, possibly. He had a setback. His elbow's barking at him a little bit, and that's going to happen on the road to recovery from injuries. The hip, I'm sure when you're thinking about the hip, you're not necessarily thinking about the elbow all that much. So it could have been like a mechanic thing for him, where maybe his mechanics were a little bit off because he was worried about the hip. And so he won't be back anytime soon. So that our dreams of having the full pitching staff sooner than later are not going to happen. But better to be safe than sorry. They're going to have to stretch out these games. They're going to have to Dalton Jeffries a game or two. They're going to have to Landon Roop in his death-defying curveball is going to have to pitch some innings. Keaton Wynn. Yeah. Keaton Wynn hasn't pitched poorly. He's pitched a little unluckily, I guess. Gave up the grand slam in San Diego or in the first game of the San Diego series, and that was it. And pitched decently well against the Dodgers in his first start as well. So he's going to get some opportunities, and still a young guy. Somebody I think the Giants value and think he's going to be something for them this year and in the future. So he'll get the opportunities. Are you worried that Cobb, who is sort of like a constant, he's a consistency in the rotation, are you worried about him being out is going to further I guess with Snell, we're not sure how many. I'm just worried about the bullpen. Without the consistency of Cobb, are we going to see a lot of these long bullpen games that could sort of hurt you in the long run?
I'm not too terribly worried because if you've got Snell back, Keaton Wynn, like you said, Keaton Wynn comes out of the rotation for the most part. So you've got Wynn, you've got Dalton Jeffries, you do have Black, Kaiwei Tang. You have those guys you can kind of shuttle in. They're on the 40-man already. So I don't know if Mason Black is on the 40-man or not, but yeah, either way, if you need to put him on the 40-man, you can. You can shuttle those guys in, eat up some innings here and there until Cobb is back. Because honestly, even when Cobb comes back, you're going to have Cobb's not going to be able to go very long right away.
That's
Snell
going to be a
is,
theme for the whole season, right?
yeah,
Snell,
Snell's a
Cobb,
5 or 6 inning guy. Cobb's going to nursing
Robbie
that hip.
Ray in the
Robbie
second half of the
Ray,
season.
Kyle Harrison, you want to stretch him out. So he's going, instead of him going tonight, Snell's going tonight. Harrison goes tomorrow. I think that gives him an extra day, right? Because he threw Tuesday. So that was, let's see, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. He doesn't pitch. He pitches another 7 days, 6 days rest right there. So, you can kind of mix things around a little bit and feed in a Keaton Wynn with a start here and there, feed in a Kaiwei Tang with a start here and there, Dalton Jeffries, just to kind of stretch out and go to a little bit. So I'm not too terribly worried because this team's got to do it all year. And you always have, Tyler Rogers, who can throw almost every night if he needs to. And he can go 2 innings if you need him to go 2 innings as well. You don't want to show his pitch to an offense 2 innings in a row, though, 2 times through the lineup.
Yeah.
But if you need to get 1 time through the lineup, if you need to face 9 batters and it takes you 3 innings to do it, I think you could absolutely do that. So I'm not too worried at the moment. I could be down the line, but right now I think they're being managed well.
Yeah, I'm just really worried about a really tired bullpen. And I even said this. I think they're gonna have to get some more bullpen arms come the second half of the season. Not only because you're really asking for a lot from the bullpen, but I also think they just need more veteran, better arms come playoff time. I don't know what teams are selling bullpen arms these days, but I think they're gonna have to add some folks. All right, so I wanted to look at where you may want to watch some of the top prospects in the Giants organization. There is obviously their number one prospect is on the team. Kyle Harrison is on the big league staff, so you don't have to look very far to watch him pitch. He's going to be out there every 5 or 6 days. Marco Luciano is in Sacramento. Carson Wisenhunt also in Sacramento. And the guy that I am really excited to see, Bryce Eldridge in San Jose. I got to figure out how to get out to some San Jose Giants games because I don't imagine he's going to be there forever.
Yeah, I really don't think he's going to be there for much longer. And again, I think the Giants kind of saw the last couple of seasons of what happens when you start players out in Eugene is that you run into really, really cruddy weather this time of year. So, put those guys in San Jose, let it heat up a little bit before they end up in Eugene or Richmond. But yeah, I don't know. He could be there another month. So yeah, get out to the ballpark, man. God, I miss that place. And the barbecue was always so good, man.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited to go check him out. I'm kind of hoping as well that I don't know where do you think Walker Martin goes? He's currently in extended spring training.
How old is he?
That's a good question. How old is Walker Martin? I don't have the information exactly right.
I would probably say San Jose. That's kind of where most of the guys get a little bit of a test. The old California League. That's kind of a good place to play. Not a ton of travel. You kind of get used to the minor league life. So probably San Jose.
So he is only 20. Gosh, this stupid MLB website just has this giant ad that I cannot get rid of. What is going on?
I'm telling you have to hit refresh. I just
my God.
Earlier today. I was looking at the River Cat stats and the huge Adobe ad popped up.
Like, where did that come from? Do you guys not make enough money on this stuff? My goodness. So Walker Martin, he didn't play at all last year, it looks like.
Right.
So he played in the ACL. So he's playing in the ACL Giants Orange team right now, and he didn't play, so he may not even be in San Jose. What is what is the team? Is there no the San Jose is the low A team.
Yeah,
It's
that's
low
low A,
A
and
and
then
high A.
then you go to Eugene, and then you go to Richmond.
Richmond.
Yeah.
So if he's in San Jose, that'll be fun. Rainer Arias as well is in extended spring training. Hayden Birdsong in Richmond. Mason Black is in Sacramento. Reggie Crawford in extended spring training as well. I would imagine he would be either in Eugene or Richmond, but I don't know for sure. And your favorite, Maui Ahuna, also in
Yeah.
San Jose.
That's the guy, man. Him and Hunter Bishop are my two guys. Hunter Bishop is tearing it up already in double A in Richmond, which is awesome. He's 3 for 9 with a bomb.
They don't even
OPS of 1.067, man.
they don't even count our guy Hunter Bishop as a prospect anymore.
I
think he's
know.
too
Well,
old.
because he's 37. No, I'm kidding. He's 25 years old. Injuries really did that guy in, but man, I would love to see him in the majors someday. I know that's a long shot, but 25 years old. But even with another organization or whatever, getting a chance. I mean, the guy he mashes the ball when he gets a shot when he's healthy. So
You mean maybe like Joey Bart in Pittsburgh?
yeah, Joey Bart with a home run in his first at bat in Pittsburgh, and Giants fans were going absolutely nuts. But
Good for him.
yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
A couple of guys that we'd like to see bounce back and make some noise. Grant McCrae, he is in Richmond. Averson Arteaga is in Eugene, though he is hurt. Thoracic outlet surgery. What
Geez,
happened?
that's the one that Noah. What was our pitcher way back in like 2000?
Noah Lowry?
Noah Lowry had that surgery as well and was never the same after. But that was a long time ago. I don't.
Vaughn Brown is in Richmond. Wade Meckler is in Sacramento. Carson Seymour in Sacramento as well. And then you get down to the 23 and 24, RJ Dabovich, Kai Wei Tang, both in Sac. And yeah, they still have Jairo Palmeras as a prospect, number 28, but he is also injured. So that's, at Sacramento, man, if Luciano and Matos are hanging out in Sacramento, that would also be really fun to go out there. What's going to happen when the A's are out there?
Well, that's the fun thing. I was telling Denise that the other day. I said, we can drive to Sacramento when the A's play the Giants. I mean, it's going to be a hard ticket to get because it's a small stadium, but it's a 2.5 hour drive from Reno to get over there to see the Giants, which is way easier than the Bay Area. So that'd be kind of fun. But yeah, I think they're already talking about, and I don't understand any of this because it's all lease and, hard feelings and sour grapes type of stuff. But from what I've read, it's possible that when the A's are playing some of their games in Sacramento, the River Cats are going to play some of their games in Oakland.
Wow.
I just don't know how all of that works. And at Oracle. So whatever's open, you know what I mean?
I would go see River Cats in Oracle.
Yeah, they can come over here. I mean, Sacramento could come up here and play some games. It's only a 2.5 hour drive. I mean,
that'd be fun.
If the Aces are on the road, the stadium's open. Hop on in. So yeah, I'm not quite sure how all that's going to work.
What is your take on this A's nonsense?
It's so dumb. Being a Nevada resident, I don't want to pay a dime for the A's to move here. I'm one of those people who's never been an A's fan. They're our rival, can't stand them. But man, they deserve a waterside stadium in Oakland.
Yeah.
To stay in Oakland and be the Oakland A's. It's kind of, the whole thing's just absolutely.
The fans definitely deserve it. I don't know if that ownership deserves it.
No, not the ownership. They need to sell the team. I saw a guy when we were on vacation. We were at the hot springs just down south, and the guy walked by with an A's bucket hat, and he had a big shirt that said "sell."
Oh man!
And I said, "There you go, man." I said, "Sell that team." I'd also had a couple of drinks, so Denise goes, "Do you have to talk to everybody?" I said, "Yeah, he's wearing a Sell shirt."
The Warriors owner Joe Lacob, if If they want to sell that A's team, I think Joe Lacob would raise his hand and be like, "I'm here.
That
I'm
would be
ready."
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he's got money. He's got the Warriors. He's got the WNBA team. So that would be a smart person to sell to, I think, if you want the organization to stick around. But man, this Vegas thing still doesn't really seem real, even though I saw that the Tropicana shut down.
It's closed, man.
They
I
closed it
stayed
down.
there, I don't know, 2 or 3 times over the years. I was there when they were shooting an episode of Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh wow.
It was kind of fun. I can't remember the year. I want to say, 97, something like that. But
Cranston?
yeah. I didn't see any of the actors, but it was apparently one of the kids in the plot. One of the kids did something and the casino went dark. So they had this area all closed off where all the lights went out real quick. And so I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. But yeah, I just don't get it because the renderings of the stadium, it's kind of an open air stadium. But man, we go in July down to Vegas almost every year. And it's like 115, 100. It was 118 degrees one day. I tried sitting next to the
Crazy.
pool in the shade. I got a beer from the bar at the pool and I sat in the shade next to the pool and the beer got warm within like 7 minutes. So I'm not sure how they're going to do any of this in the summer in Vegas. It has to be a closed stadium. There's no other way, but I don't know.
Speaking of beer, what are
Yes.
you drinking there?
Man, at our local Sam's Club, which I think is owned by Walmart. I'm not 100% sure. But either way, they always have some really cool bourbons that you can find. I have that E.H. Taylor back there that I had last time. But I found this guy,
There you go.
some Knob Creek 9-year, 100 proof, and it is absolutely meaty. It is oaky as hell. It's got a really nice like caramel vanilla spice at the end of it. And normally this is like, I think it's normally like $55 at Total Wine, but it was $30 there. So
Oh wow.
yeah, so I had Denise grab me one last time she was there, and it is tasty. I'm kind of nursing it. I'm working on it a little bit.
I decided that I needed to finish some of the pre-made cocktails that I had bought just to taste test for this show. I actually had a Manhattan over the weekend.
Nice.
It's the year of the Manhattan, so whenever we
Yeah.
go out, that's going to be the drink of choice. So I had one of those. But I'm already pretty much done, but I had my old-fashioned mix here. I have one which is the Trader Joe's one. Then I have another one. I forget the brand that it's a little bit smaller and petite bottle, but I think I'm gonna finish those over the next 3 or 4 shows that we do. So
That's a good idea.
that's what I'm gonna do until we move on. I've been on this hop water kick. I also found some hop tea.
Oh, nice. I've
So
seen
it's like
that.
hop
Yeah.
iced tea. There's a black hop iced tea
Nice.
that kind of sort of tastes like a beer, which is pretty refreshing.
Yeah.
And I threw a little lemon juice in there, and it's delicious. It's like my new favorite thing. So
Oh, nice.
I'm on the hop water kick. While I'm pretty much only having drinks when we do this show. I may have a drink if we go out, but because of Crystal's stopped drinking, we're kind of chilling on the drinking. So I need to be a little bit more creative for my one drink a week with you for this show. Once I get through the pre-made cocktails, I'll get a little bit more creative.
I like to have the drinks when we go on vacation, but then man, does that get expensive. So
Yes.
although I did at the restaurant on site, I ordered an old fashioned. The bartender, she put 3 cherries in it.
Oh,
A big wedge of orange at the bottom of it. And it was made with Woodford bourbon. And I could have sworn it was like a 3-shot. It was like a 3-shot old fashioned. It was in an old fashioned glass,
yeah.
but it filled to the brim, like tipping over the edge. And when I was done with that, I was like, "Holy moly, that was that was a strong drink, and it
There
was
you
like
go.
$13, but it was
Worth it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely
Yeah,
worth it.
for sure.
All right. We are going to we haven't done it yet, but Brad likes to throw up the player of the week. Can you also do that on Threads, or is polls only a Twitter thing?
I'm gonna have to look into that. I'm not 100% sure. Let me. I can actually log in right now and see, but yeah, I'm not 100% sure if I could do that on there because I was thinking about that the other day because I know I'm doing some stuff on Threads, but let's see if there's a poll. I do not see. Oh, there's a poll.
You can
There we
poll.
go. All right.
right.
So we can do so. Look for polls on Threads.
Yeah. So we'll do some polls on X and Threads and get some more votes in for our player of the week. I think I'm going to make a graphic for each player of the week. So we'll even have some visual evidence and of the players of the week. That'll probably help us count. Maybe that'll help us pick the team MVP. Who wins player of the week the most?
There you go. I'll keep a tally of that.
What
I like
did we think
stats.
this week if we were voting? Jordan Hicks?
I would go with Jordan Hicks. Yes, 100%. I thought the fact that he was just a starter for going back to being a starter this season, got stretched out a little bit in his second start. Let me take a peek at his numbers real quick, but man, he's kind of almost like the MVP of the starting pitching staff at this point. He's one of the few ones who just is kind of tearing things up and getting things going for for the rest of the starters. So he's kind of setting the tone. So let me see if I can find his full stats for the week. I mean, other than that, I would the only other one I would think would be like Nick Ahmed. And yeah, he hasn't done anything offensively, but the fact that he's leading in most of the defensive metrics, and that's kind of what this team tried to improve on going into the season. So I think that's pretty awesome. I love defense. I love old school baseball. I love great pitching. I love defense. I love stealing bases, which we have not done yet in 10 games. I think we're like 0 for 2 or 0 for 3 in stolen base attempts, but
we're running into a lot of outs though.
We are. Too many outs. So Jordan Hicks, 17 innings pitched so far in the young season, 28 strikeouts in 17 innings, only given up 10 hits, 5 earnings, 2 home runs, and 8 walks. We knew he was going to walk people. You know, he's always had that issue. His whip has never been fantastic. He gives up hits. He gives up walks. He's given up 2 home runs in only 17 innings. But the fact that he can strike people out, is such great quality to have. And somebody posted on Twitter today that it showed his overall WAR over the seasons, and he's already at 0.7, which is his second best WAR in any season. But again, you know how WAR works. He has a bad outing, that WAR goes down, so things can change. But still, the fact that he's off to such a fantastic start, I would say the first 10 games of the season, he is our player of the week. I say week in quotes because it's been 10 days, but
So we'll get those polls up next week to get those kick started again. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
All right. So and then we'll post the graphics, the player of the week graphics on the Instagram and the Twitter and the Threads accounts as well.
Yeah, right on.
All right. A little bit of a shorter show today, but season's still pretty young. We hope that Blake Snell throws a good game. So this is putting that into the future. He's gonna their first pitch is in like a half an hour or something.
Yeah, like 20 minutes. Yeah.
So good luck to Snellzilla. We want to see some of that nastiness, and I hope he has a good outing and health wise and all that. And I hope the bullpen doesn't have to throw like 8 innings today.
Are we going to get another sellout? So first 3 games of the season have been sellouts, which is fantastic.
I'm going to say no.
It's Blake Snell.
Well, Blake Snell is a positive.
Yeah.
Monday night in San Francisco is not that positive, but the weather is okay.
Against the Washington Nationals.
The weather is nice, at least in the South Bay. I think it's still 70 out where I am. So That's nice. So
Yeah,
maybe
70.
it is nicer.
Jesus, we hit 55 today, man.
All right, we will be back next week, and also we have another Bleacher Report show at the end of this month. So actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, next week I'm going to be on vacation, so we'll sort of play it by ear. We may have to try and do one near the end of the week, if possible.
Cool.
Because I'm going to be in Arizona to see my parents.
Nice.
For a few days early next week, which is during the time that we record this. So, we'll figure out a time and a place to record next week if possible. All right. For Brad, I am Double G. Go Snellzilla. Peace out.
Peace.